in the building and stuff, man. I haven't went live in a long time, so I just thought I would just come on here, to y'all, and pardon it, that's an alarm. The market finna open up in a little while. But anyway, I just wanted to give y'all a shout, about 10 minutes, 15 minutes, check in with y'all, see how y'all doing, how y'all holding y'all head. And this video real quick is going to be really about why it's important to think about moving abroad. Okay, so I was watching somebody's live earlier today, and basically what the brother was saying is how America is the greatest country in the world, and anybody leaving there, is making a big mistake because of the United States military is so powerful, and the United States dollar is so powerful that it don't make no sense to go any other place. And I think that's the rationale behind that is flawed, because I think that if you're able to make money you're getting U.S. currency, and 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 you're able to you take that money and go live a better life in another country. I think that that's something that people have been doing for generations, and that most people on a certain level can never really comprehend. Some people argue that the only reason why people go to other countries is because they're not rich in their own country. Well, here's my conversation for that. Here's my statement for that. My statement is this, is that even if that is the reason why a person is going to another country, um, and for myself, it certainly is the reason why I feel like it makes more sense to not work my whole life away and give all the money that I make, pretty much, if most of it, away right back to bills, taxes, rent, car insurance, and everything else. That every time you buy something, you're getting taxed for it. Bad medical. I mean, I ain't gonna lie, man. It's not until you leave America and come to some other countries that you realize that your medical service is substandard. And I'm not trying to shit on America. I'm just trying to be honest, man, what my personal experience has been. And my personal experience has been that when you go other places, that they take care of the people and everything. People argue about the capitalist system. The capitalist system is great for people who are able to capitalize, but the reality is that everybody cannot be a if everybody in the capitalist system only did uh, entrepreneurship, you couldn't have businesses running off of manufacturing and stuff like that. You got to think about it. Everybody loves to talk about that, but the reality is everybody decided that they wanted to be their own entity, their own company, and they would not work for nobody else, and that the only way they would work is if they were independent contractors. Do you think that you could have had Ford Motor Company? Do you think you could have had GM? Do you think you could have had some of the major manufacturing companies that exist in America? You couldn't, because the reality is if everybody thought that way, and everybody processed money that way, and everybody processed the capitalist system that way, and realized the benefits of being your own business person, then basically major corporations wouldn't have a leg to stand on. So let's keep it a dollar. The reality is that you need, in a capitalist system, a big segment of the population to be, quote unquote, as one of my old supervisors used to call all the people that were beneath her, underling. You need people to be underlings. You need people to be on the surface level. You need workers. You need worker bees. It's just like it's been the military. You can't have, you have to have a systematic setup, a regime in which there is a general, a colonel, a captain, major, and also it has to be organized in that manner. And so the reality is that don't really hold water to me, because the capitalist system only really benefits those who are, in a sense, I'm not going to say it doesn't benefit, but it benefits the people who are at the top of the system the best. And the problem with the capitalist system, especially the political atmosphere of a capitalist system, is the fact that in that system, people who, and companies who make all the money can change the laws in their favor, which is the reason why you have so many problems and so many. I worked in the jail system at one point in time, and it was filled with people of color. And the people who did the jobs, who worked in the jail system, were people of color too, because the pay was so little and so minute, and the aggravation and the frustration of seeing people locked up and seeing people behave and misbehave and act stupid and ignorant and shit like that. Only certain people would be willing to do that. You had to be a person from that kind of atmosphere who could tolerate that kind of bullshit. And then, so you got low pay. You got a system that's designed to take you from a fucked up educational system to put you into the jail system. And the people who work in the jail system are usually people who are pretty much low on the totem pole or don't have a whole lot or not making a whole lot comparatively to what the fuck they got to deal with every day. You got to be counselors. You got to be security guards. Man, that shit ain't worth nothing. I ain't gonna even lie. And that's not the shit on people who work in the jail system. That's really the big up on, because the reality is that shit, a lot of motherfuckers would not even deal with that kind of shit. It's crazy. So, I commend you if you had that kind of personality. My problem within the jail system, and I don't want to go too far off into that, but my problem with the jail system is that the people who were in it didn't really want to make it better because they really don't give a shit about nobody. You know what I'm saying? But the point I'm trying to make is that you want a system that cares about the people regardless of their financial disposition. And that's what I found in many other countries outside of America, that it's not about money. See, in a capitalist system, the doctors only want to help you if they can get paid off you. You know what I'm saying? They're always trying to sell you a drug. And you jail drug dealers, but the biggest drug dealers is the doctors. They're the ones that the middleman, they're the drug broker. The manufacturers is Pfizer. So the reality is that you locked up a whole bunch of colored people and impoverished people for selling drugs, but then because it's a capitalist system and people have the ability to change the law so that's in the favor of the corporations could be drug dealers, but the regular people are not allowed to be drug dealers. And then thus you have made a system where you can criminalize people who sell drugs that are not inside your system, that don't do it in accord with your rules, because selling drugs is just selling drugs. At the end of the day, it's just some people's drugs. It ain't like every drug that's manufactured by Pfizer was a good drug and didn't have side effects. Same thing with cocaine, same thing with any kind of drug that you're dealing with, pills, anything. So don't sit up here and say, oh, it's only because, it's not because of nothing. It's because corporations have the ability to lobby and pay politicians and pay court systems to get things done in their favor. That's just the reality of the situation. That's what it is. And so don't you want to live in a place where people care about you as a human being? Don't you want to live in a place where people don't just say, well, hold up, how much money you got before I help you out? You know what I'm saying? You spend your whole life working 40 years at a job, and then, every time you go to the doctor, it's really all about how much money we can take from you. And then you got co-pays and all of this extra shit you got to spend. I got insurance as a traveler, and it's still telling you that you got to spend $250 in order for them to jump in. It's a fucking ripoff. It's a fucking ripoff. I've been spending $70 every fucking month. And at the end of the day, if I get hurt or get into a situation, I still got to come out of my pocket with $250. That's a scam. So, at the end of the day, man, all of this shit, you want good education, you want good housing, you want affordable health care and good health care. You know what I'm saying? You want to be treated with dignity and respect. You want people not to be using your color as a way to mistreat you. I mean, can you, as a black person, can you get away from that? Fuck no. Because anywhere you go as a black person, you're going to be mistreated a little bit. But what I like about certain countries is at least they don't outwardly show it or directly show it. Even if they've been taught to think that black people are supposed to be slaves, which everybody has been taught that. I don't give a fuck where you go. You know what I'm saying? They ignore the fact that one of the richest places is in Africa. But we ain't gonna get into the color shit right now. But the reality is that if you are able to put up 20 bands, do yourself a fucking favor, man. Do yourself a fucking favor. You can put up 20, 30 bands and learn a minute skill, any kind of skill that can bring you in, I would say, $200 a week. $200 a week. If you can find a job that will allow you to get in and you can make $200 a week, man, it's so many countries in the world you can go that you can heighten your quality of living, heighten your quality of life Right now I'm in the gym. It's nice as fuck. Ain't nobody in it. On the other side is a pool. It's nighttime. You can't really see, but it's a pool out there, water features and all that shit. And I mean, I don't have to tell you all the time. It's $400 a month, everything included. Why would I go and go live in a fucking place where in order for me to pay my rent, I gotta work fucking 40, 50 hours a fucking week? It just don't make sense. I don't even have to leave my crib. I don't even have to leave my crib. So, that's the demo, man. And that's what I'm trying to say. It's nothing wrong with living your best life in a foreign country, taking your money, take your resources, take that shit and go out and go live a better life, a higher quality of life. Help your family live a better life. Why do you gotta let your children and your babies be under that kind of system, man? I used to go to school and it was just like, man, get called all kind of names and shit like that, as a black person and shit like that. Who the fuck wants to be in that kind of, I mean, I was put in lower classes, that's the kind of system that America had, and, I come from a school system where they were able to hit you with a paddle. That's when I came up. So, I'm just trying to lay it out there with y'all, man. And don't listen to no fucking people who have not lived out of the country. What the fuck do they know? They don't know shit. They cannot appreciate that because they need to be at the football games to go suck other fucking football players' dicks, and they need to go see what other basketball players are doing, and they need to go to barbecues and be around a bunch of people. Hey, listen, there's nothing wrong with that. There's something to be said for community. It's not easy to be out here and be, you could create your own community. You could join communities out here anywhere in the world that you go. If you're willing to socialize and get out, kick it, you're gonna create a community of your own and associates of your own. I don't even use the words friends. A lot of these people in expat world, oh, you're gonna make friends. If I already know you for 20 years, you're not my friend. Period. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to even sit up here and flex in front and act like that shit. That friend shit is overly used and shit, man. You're not my fucking friend. I just know you. And I don't really know you that well, so you're at best a fucking associate. But you can make some associates. And those associates can assist you throughout the whole journey as an expat. You know what I'm saying? And especially if you get to know people in the community. Those people will help you navigate the things that you're paying double prices for. They might help you get it a little cheaper and stuff like that. All kind of stuff like that, man. Help you go to better places, locations that are hidden in the cut, stuff like that. So, yeah, man. Good education, higher quality standard of living, nicer apartments for the price, good medical benefits, and access to many different cultures that you get put in a certain area, especially if you're in places like Southeast Asia or even if you're in South America. Once you get in certain locations, you got a good jump off point, a good hub that you can go to different locations from. And so that's what I'd like to say with y'all, man. If you really trying to figure out whether you want to do that and leave the country and get out, do yourself a favor, man. Start getting rid of all your junk. Start putting all your finance and all your money together. Get rid of any bills and unnecessary shit you don't need. And, get ready to go do the damn thing. Book your fucking ticket for a year from now. And every month have a process that you're going to go through in order to get rid of everything. So it's your boy, Mr. Cosmic. Send me a message if you got any questions. And, holler at me later, man. Peace.